Greetings. Welcome to a very quick vlog. Vlog. Still think that word sounds weird. I hope everybody's doing okay. It is Tuesday. My Monday completely disappeared with No Man's Sky. Whoops. I'm of two minds on No Man's Sky. I don't know if I want to make it a series or if I want to stream it or both. It's not exactly like linear in terms of content. I mean, it kind of is, but not ultimately. It's like uh, I don't know. It's fun. I vanished about 8 hours, 10 hours just today. A very wonderful friend got that for me. I really do appreciate it. You know who you are. You're probably watching this, and I appreciate it very much. It really did make my day. Not just because I got something. It's the whole concept of karma. I really do believe in karma. I think what you put out is what you get back. People that do stuff for the community will get stuff in return. I try to foster a community and I try to help people and I try to just generally entertain folks, not specifically so that I will get stuff back in return. It's not the right motivation. I do it because I have fun doing it. That's the right motivation. But periodically, somebody comes out of the woodwork and does something anonymous or semi-anonymous for me, and I feel ultimately blessed, and it really does smooth my life out a lot, and I just love it. It's awesome. I highly encourage you to go by the same philosophy. Karma does not mean that you don't believe in whatever you already believe in. You can just get it and kind of tack it onto the top of whatever your existing belief system is, and it works. It's great. I love it. I really do believe that there is such a thing as good karma and bad karma. I have seen bad karma in my life, like personally affect me because I was selfishly motivated in certain circumstances and bad karma came back around towards me. And I could almost see how it was directly connected. A lot of my early job career when I was in my 20s and 30s was bad karma because I was being selfish about things. I was being lazy about things, whatever the case may be. And that came back to haunt me. So yeah, I think karma's the thing. I really do. I think there is such a thing as karmic justice, karmic energy, karmic whatever. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, somebody got me No Man's Sky yesterday. Thank you again. And I really do love it. I absolutely now okay. I'm of two minds on No Man's Sky. I have to separate things. I have a little bit of a cold. I'm sorry, you're gonna hear some sniffles. I'm not gonna edit it out. No Man's Sky was supposed to be a multiplayer experience. That's not what we got. So you get that and you separate that out. That is a different game called No Man's Sky in my brain that never happened. It was falsely advertised and it got canceled. We instead got a single player game called No Man's Sky, and it is a single player game. If you delve around on the subreddit for No Man's Sky quite a bit, you will find out a lot of information about people that have taken apart No Man's Sky or they've done packet sniffing, all of this stuff. The game has been picked apart. It is absolutely concrete right now that you will never be able to actually meet another player. Full stop, period, end of story. That is not rumor. That is fact. Because they took the game apart down to code, basically, and figured out that the game's camera doesn't render its perspective. It does not render where it's coming from. So when you're flying around in your ship is actually not getting rendered. The only thing you see is an overlay for your cockpit. That's it. When you hop out, it is rendering your ship, but the character's camera and the character's perspective source never really gets rendered. So if two people met each other, if they could, then it is, they wouldn't be able to see each other. Problem number two is the fact that the game is actually not even transmitting multiplayer packets. Clients are not coordinating with each other by way of the central servers. The only thing that is being sent out from your client is general connection data. When you launch the game, what galaxy you're in, as well as it uploads to the central servers, whatever stuff you rename. Now, here's the thing, okay? A lot of people say, well, how do we know that's even multiplayer? There have been players that have found planets that were named and discovered by other players. That is a thing. So we know that is a fact, that we know that's a feature. But I think that is the extent of the multiplayer that they were able to deliver. Basically, you are finding other players' legacy. That's it. And I think that's where it stops. Right now, there's no packets being sent to coordinate multiplayer. You're not even telling the server where you are at any given point in time. It doesn't know and it doesn't care, because all saves and all of your data is client side. There are files on your client side. If you reset those files, if you erase them or move them, then you basically start No Man's Sky over from scratch. You are not. It's not an MMO where your client is syncing data up to an MMO server, like where your character is in World of Warcraft. If you erase local files, uninstall and reinstall World of Warcraft, you have the same character and he's in the same location you logged out. It's not the way No Man's Sky works. It is completely player side. And it is syncing nothing. It's not even, I don't think it's even syncing up to the Steam cloud right now, from what the guys at Giant Bomb were talking about. But basically, Sean Murray and Hello Games made a lot of big promises in 2014 and early 2015 about this massively multiplayer experience. It was so big you were unlikely to run across other players, but if you did, you could see them, interact with them, they could see you, and that was the only way you could tell what you looked like. Then their offices, their studios, got hit by a flood, and they did not get completely reset on their progress, but they lost a lot of data, and they had to almost recode a lot of the game, large chunks of the game from scratch all over again. So I think that when that flood happened, when that reset happened, they had to sit down and say, okay, we're going to have to strike some things off the board. What features can we get away with not delivering on, but nobody will figure out? Multiplayer. It's such a big game. It's so vast. Nobody's ever going to find each other. What are the odds of that? So let's just strike out multiplayer and we can add it in later if we get around to it. And sure enough, on the first day that it got released on PS4, two people found each other within the same system. They found each other in adjacent systems. They coordinated in one system on one planet in front of this one particular trade depot, a meetup, and they couldn't see each other because the clients aren't transmitting multiplayer information. They're not rendering their own camera perspective. So there is nothing to see. Plus, it was day for one person and night for another at the exact same location on the planet. So the day-night cycles weren't even synchronized. Almost nothing is being transmitted to the Hello Games servers for this game. Almost nothing. So that is that's the multiplayer. That is the original promised product. When you look at what the game is right now, it's a very fun, very neat space exploration game. It's got some combat elements in it. It's got a ton of exploration and discovery. There is actually a storyline in it, despite what people tell you. But, is it $60? No. It's like a $30 or $40 really nice indie game that's still in early access. Definitely. This is not a release quality game, but it was backed by Sony and it was pushed to be sold for $60. And that has set a negative precedent for it. So, grain of salt territory. The game is not horrible. Yeah, it is a technical mess for large chunks of people. There's a big chunk of the audience that got it on the PC version, got the PC version, and it wouldn't even start for them. If it does start, it gives horrible frame rate. I will admit my version does not give amazing frame rate on mine, and I think it should, but it doesn't for whatever reason. So there is that. But what they have delivered, I think, is good. I just think that you need to separate the single player version we have now and the multiplayer version that we originally were supposed to get. Those are two completely separate games in my mind, and they're two completely separate arguments to be had. I do think that Sean Murray and Hello Games screwed up. Basically, they promised a whole bunch of stuff, and at no point did they ever say, you know what? We had our progress reset by our offices being flooded. We've had to scale back on the features. I don't think anybody would have really hated them for. I mean, somebody would have hated them for it. There's always going to be some aspect of the internet that's going to hate you for it. But I don't think anybody would have blamed them. Worst case scenario, they would have had a valid reason for saying, look, we need to push this back 6 months so we can actually deliver these features that you wanted. Otherwise, you're going to get a single player version. Do you want that? Now, there's a lot more scandal behind this. The supposedly live demo that was done at E3, the live trailer, that's not live. It was pre-scripted. It was pre-coordinated. They found the data and the actual cue points for it in the client still. When you start up the game and you see that galactic kind of space zooming past you, all the stars and everything, and you'll see random names of stuff. That's not stuff that's been named by players. It's not getting updated dynamically. It's a text file that's logged into the actual startup of the game that's got a static list of about 200 or 300 planet names or system names. That's it. It is not dynamically updating that, and it is not remembering what other people have discovered in your area and syncing it down to your client. It's not that coordinated. It's a very simple single-player game that happens to share just a little bit of data with some central servers that gets passed down to everybody else. That's it. That's where it stops. I still think it's a fun game. I don't think they should be charging $60 for it. I think it should be scaled down, and I think they should refund a big chunk of the money that they've actually taken. Because if they scaled it down to $40 now, a lot of people are going to be pissed. But that's No Man's Sky. Tonight, Tuesday, I actually don't know if this is going to go up before or after the live stream, but Tuesday night live streams, I'm going to change. I'm tiring of Overwatch. I realize we only have about a 60%. It's like 60-40. We have I think about a 60% loss ratio, 40% win ratio. That's not horrible in the grand scheme of things, but there's so many parts of that game that are broken and frustrate me to no end. Stuff like matchmaking is broken. We're constantly getting matchmade against people that are way out of our skill range, and we shouldn't. It is very bad at figuring out and accommodating for mixed skill range groups. And there are other games out there that do a lot better. And I think they could have taken some cues from. There is, oh gosh, I think the Summer Games thing is a horrible debacle. But, I could go on and on about that. Basically, I'm wearing thin on Overwatch, and they are not doing enough in my eyes to really improve the game itself. Yes, they rolled out 60 tick rate servers. Technically, that's worse for me, not better, because now I can't hit the broadside of a barn with people like Anna or Hanzo, whereas I had a chance earlier. Now I can't. So that's not great, and the 60 tick rate server is just exaggerating the already pre-existing skill difference between myself and people that play a lot more, that are in that game. So I think for at least a little while, I'm going to retire Overwatch from Tuesday nights. What am I going to replace it with? I don't know. I could replace it with a No Man's Sky stream. I just don't know if people would like that. So respond, tell me. I don't know. I would love to hear. Anyway, I'm going to cut things off here. Thank you very, very much for listening to my babbling. I'll catch you later. Bye.